Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to an unusual episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, with an unboxing. A pretty big one. But here's the thing. I don't think this is that big. I mean, it's big. Here it is. But, well, why would I be getting a fragile box this big? Well, therein lies the tale. So let me tell you the tale. I'm going to just kind of push this off to the side. So, many collectors might be aware of a little event that took place a few weeks ago. It was an auction, and it was an auction that took place through a company called Morphy Auctions. So, what was Morphy Auctions? Well, they're just a standard auction house. There's a lot of different auction houses, and unlike something like eBay or Mercari or things of that nature, this was more high-end, okay? And let's see, what basically was happening was that apparently, and I'm giving you the paraphrase, you can look up, just type in a search, Morphy Auction Star Wars, and you'll get all the information you need about this in great detail. But the paraphrasing of the story goes that I believe a gentleman had purchased Star Wars figures in the 70s and 80s for their child or children, and their children had no interest in them whatsoever. Now, I don't know if it was something that he purchased for them right away and they had no interest in unboxing them or taking them out and playing with them, so he just simply put them away and stored them, or he was thinking this is something that they would want to have as an investment, and he purchased a bunch of them and stored them all away, and then when he wanted to give them to them, they were like, we're not interested, and then he was like, okay, now I got all these figures, what do I do? Whatever the story may be, this person ended up with what I would say is, I think they said 400 plus action figures in card, stored immaculately in climate controlled space for 40 plus years. And now he was going to, and this included a whole bunch of rare things like double telescoping lightsaber, Luke, Ben, Vader, a Boba Fett figure on a Star Wars card, ultra rare, and things of that nature. A bunch of carded, all the different Star Wars, Empire, Jedi, Power of the Force, from the original Star Wars 78 releases all the way up to the 84 or so Return of the Jedi releases. Okay, so he decided to put that out in an auction. So, I tend to, if I have time, I tend to check out auctions, and lo and behold, I found myself, registering, and then I found myself getting a bid paddle, and I'm like, Now, you need to know this. I am not a huge high-end collector, not by any means. I would far rather, if I had $500 that I could spend on it, I'd rather stretch that across a year and spend it on a bunch of, VC figures and playsets and things of that nature, all right? And I have a lot. You can see with the boxes behind me, I have a lot of vintage toys from my childhood that I kept. And they're played with, but they're in good displayable condition. So, but I've always been interested in maybe acquiring a collection of carded figures, not super, what they call AFA graded, crazy expensive figures, just, a reasonable amount. Kind of an investment, all right? I have all the figures loose, but an investment to maybe, have them now, because they do seem to keep going up in value. So I thought, well, if I can come up, I picked up a few damaged card figures that now I've pretty much doubled in value. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll do a few more. So I just kind of kept a look, and look, I had no interest in spending $20,000 or anything like that. The price of a car on a Boba Fett action figure. I don't have that money, and I wouldn't be interested even if I did. What I was interested in is they were including a lot of figures in lots, meaning a set of figures. Instead of buying just one and auctioning off one at a time, in some cases they offered like 5 at a time. And they were Return of the Jedi cards, the ones I was looking at. And so I just decided to place a bid. I put what I felt was a reasonable number. It was not cheap, but it wasn't anywhere in the multi thousands or anything of that nature. And I won. I won 2 auctions, actually. I won, I believe, a set of 5 and a set of 2. So I, squared it away with the auction house, and they sent me this box. Now this is 5 plus 2 carded action figures, and they sent me this. So I am imagining that they just packed it really well. That's what I'm gonna assume. So we are gonna unbox this now and see what they did. I'm hoping this doesn't explode into a bunch of packing peanuts or snakes or anything, but you know, it's just crazy. Now, I will be honest with you, this was more of an investment purchase. There were some of these figures I actually, well, all of these figures I already have as loose figures, but I fully intend at some point to try to sell them, to some of them off individually. The ones that I have doubles of, to definitely sell them off individually. But, you know, oh, it is packing peanuts. Ugh. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just see here. Just making sure. Okay, it has the correct lots. So again, there was 2 lots. One was a lot of 5 ROTJ figures, and then another lot of 2 ROTJ figures. Okay, and I will say this: I did not read the fine print well enough to. If I had done that, I probably would have considered a lesser bid, and then I probably would have lost the auction. But there included a premium amount of money that was fairly significant that upped the charge of what I thought I was getting charged to something more. I get it. Auctions are companies, they're businesses too. So I don't complain about that kind of stuff. I should have checked on that a little bit more. So I'm willing to accept that for this first round. If I run into this situation again, with the same auction company, and I'll assume other companies as well, I will make sure that I'm aware of that and move on from there. All right, so I'm just going to kind of lift this up just so you can see. That's what I'm dealing with here. So let's see if I can do this in such a way. Ooh. Okay. Can you imagine the amount of packing? I mean, these were 400 figures. Now, I'm sure in some cases there was probably a lot of people that bought all of the same figure. So I get that. Okay. Now, again, these are vintage, the original vintage. This is not VC figures like from the more recent things here. They do include a star case, so that's appreciative. Oh, except that look, for what I paid for these, I am thrilled that they were keeping it very protected. So thank you, Morphy Auctions, for doing that around. It just, it does pose a challenge. Now, I think what I'm going to do is, unlike other times where I actually throw a lot of this stuff out, I think I'm going to keep the bubble wrap for this and just hold on to it for when and if the time comes that I'm going to sell these. All right, let me gently. I know I should probably use gloves, but I'll keep it very, very gentle here. Okay. There you go. Princess Leia poncho. Return of the Jedi. Beautiful card. Does have a unpunched. Right? Look at that. See the back. It does have a $2.97 price tag from the company Ames. Okay, but absolutely gorgeous. I wish that we could get a star case that was thinner for the vintage figures. I know that they have hard plastic ones, and maybe that's why they just figured that people who are gonna, hold the figures are gonna probably do that. But I do appreciate that they, at least for travel purposes, filled this. Get out of there. Okay, so I'm going to gently get it back in here so I can get my really beautiful, absolutely gorgeous vintage goodness. A little yellowing, okay, definitely a little bit yellowing. You can kind of see it even in the reflection there. There's a little bit of yellowing, and I always loved, this figure because you got the poncho, you got a lot of, they just started introducing soft goods a little bit more in the line towards the end of Empire and Jedi. So really cool stuff. So bravo. Let's see what else we can find. All right. Now this might take a little while, but I do believe there are 7. That's what I was hoping to avoid. Let's see if I can manipulate the... Ooh, this feels different. Okay. This might be a twofer. Oh, this one, it includes not black, plexiglass. That's awesome. Well, I can say this, that I'll probably hold on to these figures because these were, again, far better condition. Even though that one had a price sticker on it, these are far better condition than what the figures that I've purchased. I mean, I was going through there was a time when I was actually purchasing, and I've showed them, if you look on the back, I've actually walked through some of my vintage collection that carded. I've actually had purposely looked for damaged cards because I just figured a damaged card at that time I might pay, $60 for, versus a, mint on card would be like, $600. But even the damaged card now you can't find for less than $120. Okay, so what could it be? All right, let me just do the same thing I did before. Oh, it's my first acrylic case. So exciting. I'll probably end up just keeping this one. Then I'd have to keep it kind of off to the side here. But let's see if I can. All right. I don't want to break this, but how do I get it open? Is there a key? I am not quite sure. I don't want to damage. Well, I won't damage the card, but I don't want to damage the case either. Sorry. All right. I'm going to pause the video so that I can figure out how to do this. Hang on. Figured it out. All right. So that, sadly, I did crack a little bit of the acrylic, but only on the bottom. It's a little drawer thing on the bottom. So, hey, you know what? It's my first vintage goodness card. This is the Emperor, Return of the Jedi. Sale price 99 cents. It's crazy. That's just crazy. One of the greatest investments you could ever have. If you bought these figures for 99 cents and sold them for what I paid, what everybody paid. Some people pay a lot more. All right, but I actually got a deal because I bought them in a lot. So, but again, beautiful card. Like the Leia, this is looks like a 61 or 77 back. Sorry, 77 back. By the way, for those new to it, 77 back card is what they call the cards that have the number of figures you can collect. Collect all, fill in the blank. 77 means that the highest number is 77. Now, I believe they came out with, I mean, it's up for debate, but essentially the argument is like 92 figures. But, some say it's really more like 94 or 102, and you consider like different other different additive figures. But again, keeping in mind that these figures were never meant to be kept in their displays or in their little display plastic, cheap plastic bubble box and cards. They were meant to be opened up. These cards are meant to be thrown away. So the only downside about this is the sticker, and most of these do have stickers on them. That's where their value is slightly down than, say, if it was it's still unpunched. Now I could try my hand at a little lighter fluid or something to try to get that thing off. I'm not going to even, no way. I'll take the loss of it if I decide to sell it. I'll take it. I'll sell it at a discount because I do not want to remove the sticker for two reasons. Number one, I know that you'll just damage the card. It's just so, it's especially an old card. And number two, I kind of like the sticker. To me, it brings a realism of what it was like to go to a store back in the 70s and 80s to buy stuff. There was a price tag. I mean, I remember working in my parents' office product store, and I had one of those little sticker guns that I would have to and put on every box of pencils or box of staples or whatever. It was just a product of a bygone time. So, the figure itself, gorgeous, looks in pretty good shape. Comes with this little cane. Awesome. Just awesome. Fantastic. All right. So, this one I think I might actually put up here in my little vintage area. I don't know if you can see it up there, but I'm going to actually put them up there. If I get any more of the hard plastic ones, that's where I'm going to put those. Okay. No wonder this box is so big. I'm kind of glad, though, because I'm going to use this box. Not only am I going to save the packing peanuts for, I'll get a bag to put the packing peanuts in. But I'm going to, if they don't escape first. But I also want to, oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. Wait. All right. Yeah. This one is, we're back to star cases for these. All right, and once again, we are playing the guessing game. What figure could it possibly be? It's wrapped in plastic, and then it's that. That's all right. Again, not complaining. In fact, you know, the amount of money, in some ways, now I understand. I know how much packing materials cost. Now I'm getting a better understanding of why there was a premium. Okay, this is actually a all right, we have, trying to be without touching the card itself. We have Zuckuss. Zuckuss? It's not Zuckuss. That is 4LOM, if I ever saw 4LOM, but for all of us kids growing up in the 80s, okay, this was Zuckuss. Why? Because Kenner screwed up. Yes, Kenner had the wrong name of the character. 4LOM was the character that Zuckuss really was, and Zuckuss was the character 4LOM really was. So that's what we got. So all these years. And it wasn't until the internet when people started realizing, oh wait, they were meant to be switched. I mean, some people probably knew about it earlier than that, but for me, I found it out on the internet. Okay, this is still this is a little bit earlier. This is a 65 back. Okay, being very gentle here. 65 back. You can see all the different cards, and again has a price sticker, $2.85. Eights, AATES, I think, or Bates. 8. No, it looks like just. Oh no, maybe. Yeah, AATES. So, some odd-named department stores here, right? Beautiful. Now, I will say, the Return of the Jedi cards are far less valuable than the Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars. Why? Because with each passing movie, they released more and more cards. So, it stands to reason that by the time Return of the Jedi came out, they had really, flooded the market with cards. So these are probably the least valuable, but they're still valuable. There's still definitely some value to them. Okay, and again, I like having this. I mean, and then these are far better. I mean, the ones I picked, they literally had the proof of purchase cut out. Some of them, there was a scratch on the thing. One of them, the bubble on the figure literally disintegrated. So in order, I had to kind of like get another one, like a replacement bubble, just not to glue it in there, but just kind of hold it in one of these cases. So these are far better condition. So there's Zuckuss, not Zuckuss. So awesome. All right, moving right along. And with each passing, taking out figure, we make it's a little bit easier to sift through the bubble wrap here, except this one is. It looks like we have another plastic one. Yeah, I think there was an auction with 5 and an auction with 2. I believe the auction with 2 was the ones that are the plastic wrap, and the auction with 5 was the ones with the hard plastic acrylic cases. So that's nice. Oop. All right, this one is. This one is quite well protected. Okay, now I know how to open these, so I don't have to pause the video. Let me just... And again, folks, you know, public service announcement while I'm doing this. If you can't afford to do this kind of collecting, don't. There is a bit of a disappointment when it comes to collecting, because so often you're not getting, like, you're dealing with I'll come to that in a minute. So often, you know, you're dealing with what is essentially collectors who are not really collectors, they're investors. I consider myself not an investor. I consider myself a collector, but I do a little bit of investing only because, for a couple of reasons. One, let me get the peanuts out of this thing so I can get the figure right back in. Part of the reason is because, frankly, it's expensive to collect. So if you do a little bit of investing, you can take some of that investment money and you can use it to spend more money on figures. That's what I did with that yard sale last year. Go back to my June videos of last year. I had a huge Star Wars yard sale, and I sold off a bunch of little stuff and some Hasbro collector series and things of that nature. And I used that to go to Galaxy's Edge and Walt Disney World and do a Savi's lightsaber, build a droid, you know. So I sacrificed some quantity for more quality. And here, you know, I might do the same with these, but again, not right away. Probably just let them display for a bit. The Rancor Keeper. This is a 77 back, and the first card I have that does not include a price sticker. So almost immaculate. I will tell you, it does warp a tiny. Well, actually, no, it's pretty good. There is a little bit of bend and a little bit of corner crease, and it is punched. But it is beautiful. And again, of course, like all these figures have a little bit of yellowing, but overall, not bad at all. They're in good shape. So what's cool about these cases, by the way, I want to just bring this up, that these cases are actually very well made. And you see they have, in addition to just being a plastic box, they have these little slits here, here, and here. So with a little bit of finesse and not screwing this up, you can slide them right in. And then it locks in, and then it has this little drawer base. Snaps right in. There it is. Cool. So he will go up here with the other ones. I probably put the 5 of them. I think the 5 of them come with that. All right, it's getting easier. All right, moving right along. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so 3 more to go. Probably, as I said, I'm going to keep this bubble wrap in an effort to hold on to it if and when the time comes. Although, sadly, you know, eventually I'll probably end up getting rid of the bubble wrap or using it for something else. The thing is that I haven't been doing a lot of eBay auctions as of late, only because, for the main reason, is that I feel that I feel as though sorry, distracted here. You gotta love static electricity. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you feel like, I lost my train of thought, guys. Sorry. I want to keep the, bubble wrap's expensive. Packing peanuts are expensive, and I'd like to keep them, but then I end up storing them for ever and ever and ever, and I don't want to waste storage space. Another one, unstickered and unpunched. Probably my best collective figure, although there is, that's still some yellowing on the card. But this is a Gamorrean guard, Return of the Jedi. I love Return of the Jedi. I feel like I had my greatest love and epiphany for Star Wars collecting with Return of the Jedi just because there was so much out there. I remember walking into a store in a mall, and it was a week or two before Return of the Jedi came out, and there were just figures and figures and more figures, and they were all aliens, like Gamorrean Guard and Squidhead and Reese and the Klaatu and Barada and Nikto and all those characters. Well, Barada came later, but I was loving it. Like, oh my God, what are their stories? They're all such cool adventurers. I mean, for me, I wasn't one that needed Luke. I already had a Luke. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I liked having Luke dressed as Bespin and Luke dressed as a Jedi, the black Jedi outfit. But I just loved seeing new characters, and I can have adventures with them. So this is a 65 back. Okay, so this is like the first release of Return of the Jedi figures. Really, really cool. Now, now I feel like, knowing that they came with display cases, I feel like I got a really good deal because I know how much these display cases cost, and I got 5 of them. So that, that we weren't playing for the cases. We weren't bidding on cases. I don't know if it even mentioned that they would include the cases. So, bravo. That was a good thing. All right. Gamorrean Guard. You can go up there. All right. 1, 2. So 2 more. 2 more and... All right. Thank you for those sticking with it this long. I mean, you can always fast forward. Preparing to fast forward. Fast forward. Fast forward, sir. One of my favorite references to an awesome movie. Big Mel Brooks fans here in the Darth Tuba studio household. So to have Darth Tuba and to have a Star Wars parody and Star Trek and other sci-fi wonders was awesome. So that was to have that kind of a movie, so cool. Ooh, this one now here's what I really like about this one. Look at how much thinner this is. Oh, I love this. I wish they would make star cases like this. Maybe they have, but I haven't been able to find them. If anybody knows where one can get a thinner star case figure, because the only thing I don't like about the only thing that I don't like about these is that I can't hang them up on the wall. The star cases have the little hook, and I can just hang them up on my little display. But these I have to just kind of display separate. Okay. Okay, not a amazingly thrilling figure. ATST driver, another 77 back, so this will be the next round of releases. Okay, card is in pretty decent shape, a little bend up at the top, but everything else is pretty much immaculate. Little slight crease over on top of the, you can see that, on top of the, there's a little bend. I don't know if you really can't even see it on the camera. Obviously punched, okay, so, but less yellow, well, about the same amount of yellowing actually. But I love how thin these are. They take up so much less room, So cool. Looks like on the back there's a little bit of wear. I wouldn't know if it was a scratch or just some wear and tear. Again, these things were not designed to be held onto, So, it's a miracle that they lasted this long. So, put it back in the drawer. There it is. Got the green proof of purchase sticker on the back. So awesome stuff. They had a lot of. I bid on about 3 times the amount of things that they got, hoping I wouldn't win, because while it would be great to have all those figures and win all those auctions, it would have been very, very, very expensive too. All right, moving around here. Moving it. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one. Thanks for sticking with the channel so long. You know, it's funny. I do a lot of recording back to back. So I'm going to be doing another unboxing recording right after this. Sorry. And I laugh because it's going to be so much less eventful than this one. Because, you know, we're just dealing with regular, you know, the new vintage collection, which is nice, but come on. I mean, how often does someone get to unbox some of these? Now, of course, people are like, he's not going to actually unbox these, right? He's going to keep them on the card. Can you imagine if I did that? Oh, my God. I'd probably get a lot of views. If I put down there as a clickbait, I unbox my vintage collection. Not clickbait. I would probably get a ton of views, but no, I will not be doing that. Sorry. I'm not the kind of person who burns money. Packing peanuts. Escape. One more. There it is. Good. You know, this was a little bit narrower. Again, too narrow. I'm glad I got that. I'm almost as excited about the narrow, hard case. It's fantastic. Again, now, not the most thrilling figure. Okay, I get it. I get that. Although I've met this man, and he's very nice. Dermot, his name was. And I met him at Celebration, and he's an awesome guy. And he had more to do in the movie that they cut out. But I did like, again, I've always been fascinated with the ancillary characters in Star Wars, especially in Kenner releases of Star Wars. I just thought this is so cool. They're giving you, they inadvertently gave us kids the chance to be, you know, creative and come up with our own stories by giving us these characters that maybe didn't do much in the movie, but, you know, in our minds, they were like key, integral people trying to do stuff. So, you know, help the rebellion, or, you know, be Jabba's denizens, or whatever they were. So, and I always liked this character. I don't understand what the stick was there. It comes with a stick. But this is a 65 back, so I remember this being one of the first releases. It's bringing a lot of memories back to me, you know, when I see them carded. Oops, wrong way. It's an unpunched card, so that's good. All right, so again, you know, quality of card, quality of the figure is excellent. This is probably the best one, honestly. No sticker, unpunched, just a little bit of yellowing, and it's fantastic. So, those are my 7 figures. How do I feel about it? Well, on the one hand, you know, I'm glad that, I mean, I won't be honest with you, I did get caught up a little bit in the auction intensity and hype. Not that they were doing anything like crazy there. They were very matter of fact. They're like, okay, our next lot, and this figure. We'll start bidding at da-da-da. Do I hear this? Do I hear this? It wasn't like they were trying, guys, you got to buy this. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't like going on the QVC show back in the 90s and early 2000s, like with Steve Stansweet. But it was, and it is, definitely something that, I will say this, I got 7 figures for a price that I would say I probably would not have gotten if I tried to buy them individually, at least at a toy show, unless I went at the, you know, the only way I wouldn't say it was that big of a deal. I would probably go at the very end. If I went to a toy show, the end of the night, and everybody was like packing up, and I offered them like a low ball price, and they had a bet. You know, if all the planets were aligned, if the seller, if the vendor had a really bad show and just wanted to come home with a little bit of money, they might have taken me up on it, and I might have been able to do a little bit better. But beyond that, no. I think for 7 figures and the cases, I think it was, for what I paid, it was great. I'm not going to tell you what I paid, but I am going to tell you it wasn't something outrageous like $20,000, okay? And for those who did, I hope that there were a lot of collectors that were able to buy things today, but I do get the feeling that when prices start going into the tens of thousands, or even like 3, 4, 5,000 for a figure, I feel like that's probably more of an investor than it is a collector. If there is if there are investors that are also collectors, good on you. But it's kind of a shame that this is sometimes becomes that kind of a thing. So where it's really just an investment. It's like investing in diamonds, or whatever, any type of collectible. So, but I was really happy with my purchases. As I said, these are not going to be permanent fixtures in the collection. I will more than likely put them up for my own auctions or sales in the future. I might take a look, or what I might do is hold on to these, since these are by far, even with the stickers on some of the price stickers on them, the most highest quality figures that I have. So I am going to hold on to them for a while. But I might go through, and I think out of the 7, I think I have at least 4 or even 5 doubles. But I might go and take them out and put them out for sale to, see what I can get them. Maybe I'll try eBay. Maybe I'll try something else. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that'll do it for today's episode. Very more lengthy episode. That was what was in the box. I will go through this, and if there's anything extra, I'll tag it on the end. I don't think so. But thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that other stuff. Check out all my videos. I guarantee they won't all be like this thrilling when it comes to this kind of unboxing. But there are a lot of great things coming down the pike, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you. So thanks so much for watching. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba. Check out all the other content on Red 5, the Red 5 Network. They have some amazing Star Wars and other content. So until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.